Ready to go?
Okay, Troy's here, he's under Megan.
Troy is Megan?
Yes.
All right. Excellent. I asked you if Troy was Megan or Megan was Troy.
He just texted me.
Yeah, it's me, P. I can't switch the name, so I'm
That's fine, don't worry about it.
As long as we
work
know
with
it's
me.
help with this bid stuff later on, we're good. So I'm calling to order the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen for November 4th, 2024. Time is 6:32 p.m. The first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Hear a motion to approve the minutes of October 7th. Make a motion to approve the minutes of October 7th. Do I hear a second? Second that. Hearing, do we have any discussion? No discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. By saying aye, aye. Unanimous. Present to speak. Public participation is encouraged. Speakers are limited by appropriateness, staying on topic, and maintaining decorum. Time may be limited to maintain progress. Please request to reserve time during the meeting if you wish to speak to a specific agenda item. Is there anybody that wishes to speak? Seeing nobody online, nobody in the room, we will move along. Correspondence. When this came out, we had one piece of correspondence. We had a town resident who is concerned about lighting at night and light pollution, and particularly the way some of town lighting is affecting them. The Public Works Director and our electricians are looking into mitigating those situations. Hopefully they'll be resolved to everybody's satisfaction. Additionally, today we received an FOI from fightvoterfraud.org, which is requesting a lot of very personal information about our poll workers. That FOI complaint has been referred to our attorney. I think that covers that. This is later, that's later. So now we get on to the pile of work Janice gave us. Glare.
Always get blamed for it. Insert.
So here we go. I move that we refund for excessive payments the amount of $30.48 to Bonnie Kathleen Ryan. I think that's all I need to say, right? Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And move for the refund for excess payments, $64.27 to Linda Minor.
I second that.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move that we refund for excessive payments the amount of $271.30 to Vault Trust.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. I move that we refund for excessive payments the amount of $732.85 to JP Morgan Chase for a lease.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I move that we refund for excessive payments the amount of $77.91 to Samuel P. McGill Jr.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I move that we refund for excessive payments $46.74 to Samuel P. McGill Jr.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I move that we refund for excessive payments the amount of $202.22 to Lauren Munyard.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I move that we refund for excessive payments $271.69 to Timothy Bowen.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. I move that we refund for excessive payments the amount of $91.51 to Aaron O'Dowd.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I move that we refund for excessive payments the amount of $468.34 to Scott Swazzo. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I move that we refund for excessive payments the amount of $195.73 to Lauren Benedict.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I move that we refund for excessive payments $213.22 to David W. Medeiros.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I move that we refund for excessive payments $207.32 to David W. Medeiros.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Refund for excessive payments, the amount of $61.07 to David Litwin.
Second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Move that we refund for excessive payments, $49.47 to Christine Potts.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. I move that we refund for excessive payment, $67.36 to Sean Foster.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I move that we refund for excessive payment, $78.52 to Subagani Bansudi, and I apologize for what I've done to that name.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I move that we refund for excessive payments, $491.84 to Toyota Lease Trust.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Move that we refund for excessive payments, $5.39 to Brenda J. Friggin and Rudy A. Friggin? That's correct?
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. I move we refund for excessive payment, $6.27 to Heidi Mizak.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Refund in excessive payment, $6.82 to Heidi Mizek.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Move to refund for excessive payments, $13.31 to Heidi Mizek.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Refund for excessive payments, $14.87 to Michael S. Block.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none? Aye. And lastly, law has recently changed on this. Taxpayer Lisa Hartman of L&M Properties came to the office with a delinquent statement she received for property located at 85 River Road. She was, Janice that, remembered speaking to her earlier in August, as the original bill sent had the incorrect property location of 33D River Road. Janice spoke to the assessor's office and was told that they would look into it. It's, her understanding that the information was corrected on August 19th. However, this was not conveyed from the assessor's office to the tax collector's office. And so she was waiting for a corrected bill that was never issued. In accordance with Connecticut General Statute 12-145, the town may waive interest if their tax collector and assessor jointly determine that the tax delinquency is a result of an error by either official and not the result of any act or omission by the taxpayer. I believe that's been changed from may to shall, and so they're requesting the accrued interest in the amount of $89.64 be waived. So any discussion, I move that we waive it,
Yes.
seeing as how I think we're required to by law.
Mhm.
Second, any discussion?
No.
I didn't have any either. So all those in favor, like,
Aye.
signify by saying aye. Mr. Lips and Mr. Tongue will get together and figure this out one of these days. That finishes that. Public Works report. I had that here somewhere. Public Works report, they're continuing roadside mowing, vehicle repair, and getting ready for winter. They've been doing roadside leaf blowing to prevent water runoff, although we haven't had any actual rain. They washed trucks, graded the dirt roads, I should say gravel roads, and added process to some of them. They did a beautiful job on Mason, I will note. Looks like a South Dakota gravel road now, it's so nice. They put out the vote signs for the upcoming election, both the early voting now and vote Tuesday. The only distressor there was when they were putting up vote signs, somebody asked them what we were voting for. New septic was installed at the old town hall. It's now capable of handling 600 people a day, 365 days a year. It's a little bit over-engineered, but when they took out the old cesspool, the whole thing collapsed and all the cast iron pipe had rotted through and was draining directly into the dirt outside the town hall. So it was probably about 15 years past due.
One person's over engineering, is another person's future proofing.
That's right, future proofing. It's been future proof.
There you go.
Very good,
Yeah.
Selectman.
Yeah.
For correcting me. During this, they also found that the dry well that they needed for the water purification needs replacing. And Troy is working with Carl to engineer that. That should be less than $5,000 if I remember correctly.
And I think we
And
have,
I got a nod from Megan.
we have a punch out for the possibly doing. the-
Oh, we have it, yeah, it's been engineered so that the Boy Scout Hall can eventually tie in if they get plumbing. We just didn't have the money to do that right now. We've got enough other
It's
problems.
really
with
good news.
that. Yeah.
How long was that, waiting to get done, Pete?
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
And so, then we're completed with that?
We are completed with the part that we did. The grass will grow if we ever get rain. It's already been hydroseeded. It looks beautiful if anybody goes over there.
They did a nice job.
But we need, they pulled the stumps, they've done all the brush removal from the old Boy Scout Hall. They cleaned the garage, they mowed the Cattle Rock property. I'm supposed to meet with Catherine Silversmith on the Cattle Rock property. Apparently something's happening there. Old River Road will be closed tomorrow for culvert repair. It won't be closed, it'll be severely restrained. I think they're gonna be able to keep one car traffic going through there because it is election day. Also, new transfer station stickers will be handed out starting this weekend. They will be asking you for some kind of show of your address living in town. We will not be inspecting your vehicle registration for currency, but we do want to make sure you do live in town. So they'll be handing that out. And they will place the stickers on the left side of your vehicle windshield. Also, or under DPW. When is it, the 11th or December 11th, right? December 11th, we are starting a new recycle program for cardboard and cardboard only, separated out of your single stream. they will pay us for that. Instead of us paying $35 a ton to take it away, they'll pay us $11 a ton to take it away. Or something like that.
So we're gonna have signs there to tell the people that,
Yes. Yes, we will.
when does that start?
December 11th. It'll be a bin near where one of the single streams is now bound by the metal. So if people keep their cardboard out and clean, that would be good.
So that's kind of what, before the 11th, right?
I would hope so, yes. And the people at the transfer station will be helping people figure it out. That's Public Works. State Police report. There was 10 accidents, 118 to date, 10 criminal investigations, 119 to date, 0 burglaries, 1 larceny, 8 year to date. Non-reportable matters. Non-reportable matters means they did something, they just didn't bother to write a report on it because they didn't feel it led to that level of response. 190 year to date, 1,652 for 7 total arrests this month and 94 year to date. These do not separate out I-84. So that kid that was stopped at 118 miles an hour going through town, it's not like he was on our surface streets, but it was still in our town.
And arrested.
And arrested, yes. I think there was another one, 120 something. They did 118 traffic stops this month. 0 on-site DUIs, 2 arrests, 1 misdemeanor summons, 66 infractions, 19 written warnings and 30 verbal warnings. So the difference between an infraction and a misdemeanor summons is a crime for which a jail term may ensue. An infraction is only a fine. For those that are in. So that is our, C report. I'm hoping that we can improve on that in the future. I'm working with some of the surrounding towns to see if we can do that. First selectman status report. I've got a number of things on this. The first thing is the tax season planning discussion. Tax season is hard upon us, unfortunately. And I started working with Donna to come up with some plan on how we can have we don't start off from a blank sheet of paper.
Right.
So what I've asked her to do is prepare the budget as it is now with each line item with what we actually paid.
Perfect.
In 22, 23, 23, 24, what we budgeted in 24, 25, and whether it looks like we're gonna be on budget.
Sure.
And then a blank line for 25, 26.
I like that.
And she will be working up those worksheets. Our job, as I see it, is we need to meet on the budget at probably a special meeting. I will work with you guys, or Shannon will work with you guys to come up with a date that's convenient for you. You're good during the day, so.
I am, yeah.
You're good during the day mostly, right? So
Yeah,
this will be a daytime
I think
meeting.
that's a great idea.
When we can sit down with one and go through this line by line and see where we can.
Yeah, so just to make sure I'm understanding that, so that was,
Budget.
so like if we saw it tomorrow, we might see, for road treatment for weather, there'd be
Right.
0.
Right,
But we might have budgeted
right,
200,000, but
Right.
it should be 0,
right.
because we haven't spent any, that's
This
okay.
year, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I think would be helpful.
Yeah,
It's overwhelming to see that.
yeah, and then we can
Last year
see
was
what we
pretty-
spent for road.
That's right. Yep.
The
Line
two
by line.
previous years so that we can see if we're out of line.
Yeah, yeah.
Now some things are gonna jump out at us.
Of course.
Like, legal costs.
No,
This last year has been a tremendous legal headache.
That's more and more common, I think.
Yes.
Attorneys get involved a lot sooner in things.
Yes.
Than ever.
So I wrote to them 3 times today. We got a note from Pullman saying their legal costs are going up next year.
It's gonna happen.
2.5%, 3.8%, I don't remember what the exact number is. But it's going up. Also, Troy, solid waste removal, that's going from $35 a ton to $65 a ton, is that correct?
That is correct. It could be lower if we sign a new contract and that contract. So yes, yep, he did say it would be doubling for the haul.
Yeah, right,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you, Troy.
That meeting that we're gonna schedule during the day,
Yeah,
that'll be a regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen, right?
it'll be a special meeting of the Board of Selectmen.
Special meeting of the
Yeah.
Board of Selectmen.
Yeah. And that way we can sit down and discuss it. We'll be making it public so that we have transparency.
Right.
We also have some pay issues coming up as we've discussed earlier with our members that have, salaries. So, do I have the? I'm going to take one of the good and welfare things out, put it under first selectman report. Tomorrow is election day. For those who are unaware, we are voting for President of the United States, Connecticut U.S. Senator, Connecticut U.S. Representative from the second district, Connecticut state representative from the 53rd and state senator from the 35th. Yes. Thank you, because I was blanking on that. 53rd. So because of early voting, approximately 40% of our registered voters have voted. Nationwide, it looks to be a concern for security. Our registrars have met with the in person with the resident, the trooper from Troop C who's assigned as our liaison. He has gone through the building to get the layout. We provided him with blueprints of the building and the layout and that kind of thing. Demas has opened up web EOC for tomorrow to report any incidents. State police have 2 or 3 task force for hazardous materials. So everybody wants to know everything. We've been contacted by Eversource that if our power goes out, we are a priority. All polling places are top priority. So let's hope for a well-attended but uneventful election day.
Just as a note, it would be important with emergency management to make a note that our EOC is at least monitoring or in a
Yes.
monitoring state, just in the
All
rare.
right,
We should have some activation through web EOC
okay.
tomorrow with updates, so
Is
as the day progresses,
you
and I will
guys,
work on that.
you're working on that with Stuart?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, thank you very much. Because I was trying to remember my web EOC login and I was going, I'll just call Alex. What else is going on? We are in an extreme fire danger currently. We're red flag conditions today,
Extreme today, expected to be red flag tomorrow.
red flag tomorrow, which is above extreme.
Yes.
I discussed with Alex and with Tom, issuing an emergency order for the town for fires so that we would be able to enforce some state laws should it become necessary. I believe we've had to speak to a number of residents about outdoor burning within the last couple of days. And, we have no enforcement. Ashford and Summers, I believe, have already done that. I wanted to get that done for tonight. The lawyers, because we do not have a charter, have to write it differently. They're currently writing it. They should have it by morning. I may be calling an emergency meeting tomorrow. Have you guys come in and vote on it so we can sign it and issue it.
No, before 12.
Before 12, all right. I will try to get it done before 12.
And this is a town ordinance about,
It's an emergency, order, I don't
It's a
know.
declaration,
It's a declared emergency.
Sure.
it gives the two fire chiefs, sorry, I don't mean to.
That's, no, go
It gives the
on.
two fire chiefs and the fire marshal a little bit more light.
Yeah.
To give the state police to, if we have an issue, to be able to use force on their end.
Sure.
There are laws in place, but this. Solidified.
I was contacted, I think that if we can get that done before noon tomorrow, and if we can't get it done before noon, I'll call Andy and the two of us will sign it, that's a majority and we're good.
Okay.
But, though I was hoping she'd have it for me by 6:30, but I just got an email from her just prior to coming down saying we have a problem in our town that we don't have something, so she's got to rewrite it so that we're conforming. So it's a good thing I sent it to her. I received notification today from Jim Foley, is it Jim? James Foley? Over at Brian Foley. Jim Foley's another trooper, right?
Retired.
Retired.
10 years ago.
I retired 14 years ago, so. He's just a young whippersnapper. Brian Foley, Hartford PD, not state PD. We are looking to regionalize animal control, and because Ashford is in this exact same situation we're in, and Stafford has an unknown situation, the 4 towns are meeting. It looks like Capital Region Council of Governments may have some money to help us regionalize, and it means that we will be spending 1/4 what we were paying instead of full out, so. We need 2 trucks instead of 4, we need 2 radios instead of 2 separate radio systems. 2 phones instead of, I don't know how many phones. So it goes on and on. So we're looking at that. Forestry. They are cutting trees off, are doing some forestry off of Marsh Road and off of Jared Sparks that I've been made aware of.
does the red flag have any impact on the forestry? Are they required to?
Stop cutting.
Yeah, I don't know.
So there has been some issues, in causing brush fires.
Sure.
They have not stopped.
But we know.
Uh-huh.
We made aware of it.
No, yeah, not that we've been made aware of.
Huh, okay, curious. Cause all chainsaws spark. So.
Yeah, and they've had some issues with that occurring.
Well, there were 3 or 4 fires today that are just from lawnmowers.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. Leaves. They mark them, go in.
Yeah.
Oh, South Dakota, they had the combines just
Yep.
exploding and
Yep.
watch your $1.5 million combine being out in the field, and that's not good. They had one go up in the county I was in when I was out visiting.
We need to suck up or blow them, he's not solid.
Yeah.
With your hammer.
Okay, I think that brings us to the end of the first selectman status report. So. Several years ago, from what I understand. By several, I mean 2. CIP passed a budget item for town office building security. We already have cameras and alarm systems. However, we want to, instead of having an unknown number of keys out for an unknown number of doors, integrate a fob system in with the security system. And so if somebody doesn't return their fob, we can turn them off. Just electronically. I believe it's, how many doors did I ask for, Troy, 6 or 7?
7 doors.
7 doors. So we've gone out and gotten Troy's gone out and gotten the estimates for us. We have 3 estimates here, one from NSC Nationwide Security, one from Smith Protective Services LLC, and one from Integrated Security Group. The NSC one is for, I don't even see it. We have the
I
price,
think it's in there.
Yeah, it's in there, Pete. I think it's like 28,000.
right, and we have
It's-
30,000 budgeted. Oh, here we go, $28,493.42. The one from Smith Protective is $19,131.83. And the one from ISG is $26,362 with a reoccurring service cost of $1,560. Talking it over with Troy, we are suggesting the nationwide security one because it will integrate with our alarm system. They installed, they're our alarm provider. So
Yeah.
that it'll.
Yeah,
You
currently,
get-
sorry, Pete, there are they alarm all our buildings, even at Public Works everywhere in town. So I know it's a little pricey, but I would say their system is compatible with their system. So it's not like we're trying to, put another system involved. And then if there's an issue with it, now it's one company, one service.
I couldn't find it right there.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
When it alarms all the buildings in town, does that include the library?
I do believe so that it is alarmed. I don't hold me to it, but I believe it is the same system. Yes.
And the alarm hasn't been working for the last couple of months. But that being the library, they haven't been able to fix it. I was just wondering if this is the same company and if this is on the same contract or if it's something completely different.
I'm sure it's a different contract. Their budget's completely different, so.
Yeah.
And this is only for doors in this building.
So help me understand what we're talking about here in terms of fobs, key fobs.
An electronic fob, you ever seen the fob systems? There's a electronic pad, you touch the fob to the system and it reads like a key card.
Like a badge card.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it works the same way, except they comes in like 6 different shapes. And touch it in.
So you have any maintenance on that or anything like that?
How much are they? I mean, it can't be like why can't it be like a hotel card or something that you just,
It is, you can reprogram.
okay.
But what this does is we have to issue keys to people and if we don't get a key back.
No, I understand that, but how much is the fob? I mean, how many fobs you gonna have beginning? You like what, 50 fobs or something?
Yeah, it's probably, and 100 key fobs is part of the price here. It doesn't break out the cost per
So each
fob.
person would sign for one, I guess, and if you
Yeah,
lose your position, if you don't get it back, then.
yeah, we turn you off.
Yeah, but can you get the money back for the fobs aren't cheap.
The fobs aren't that expensive.
Okay.
Fobs are relatively inexpensive. It's the computer behind it that makes it.
Right, so what is it, have an enabling software system?
Yes, yeah, that's all in here.
I suppose it shows who accessed when, so you
Yes.
got all that extra data.
Yeah,
Would Public Works be part of this same thing or not? That's just, you said just this building,
it's
right?
just this building.
But certainly it could be.
Yeah, right now we have 1, 2, 3. 4. We have 5 exterior doors right now. One of them we are not putting on this system. We also have 5 different keys to get into those 5 different doors.
That's kind of crazy.
And then all the interior doors have different keys too, so
Yep, gotcha, interesting.
I just found a set of keys that the town clerk had one and I had one, and I have no idea what they go to. I've been looking for 3 months.
It's maddening when you
I
like
walk
that.
around with.
You told me about the big.
She's got a bucket of keys in
I have
her office.
multiple buckets of keys.
So
Feel like you
now,
gotta save them.
would these guys have a fob to?
If you like run a committee or something like that, you could get a fob.
You mean to the fire service?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't bypass the lock on the door.
Oh, okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
You saw the Knox box, and you can just open the door.
We don't have a Knox box here, but I know myself and Chief Snyder both have a key in here.
yeah, and they would get a fob.
You got it.
So if the building catches on fire, they can go in instead of me.
Yeah.
Alright, that's my hope.
That's the emergency manager.
So,
You're making a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the bid from Nationwide Security Corporation so that it'll integrate with our system.
I'll second that motion.
Any other discussion?
I think we discussed it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, now. I don't remember which one is which. Oh. We've got, two more to go. Quote for the Boy Scout Hall. Currently, I went over the Boy Scout Hall, the windows are completely rotten and the doors are steel doors that you can actually push your finger through. I know because I tried. The windows are about to fall off, the vent on top, all the vents are falling off, and there's a lot of rotten wood here.
I took a look at it after we pulled out all the shrubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of shocking, actually.
Yes, so. I would like to fix at least the front of that, so looking out onto the town green, it doesn't look so bad. Now Troy, help me with this one, is that the McKinney we wanted on this one? Or the,
No, so Scholar Painting is gonna do the Boy Scout camp.
Scholar Painting?
Yep,
Here we go.
and then
Who here for Scholar?
so the one you have in your hand right there, they'll do the Boy Scout camp. They're
Yeah.
gonna redo the doors, they're gonna put 2 coats of paint on it, scrape paint it, fix any trim that needs to be replaced, and try to get it back up into somewhat of its original state, basically.
All right, and here we go, that would be for $25,320.
Yes, correct, yep.
All right, this is, the reason we have separated the Boy Scout Hall from the old town hall is that we have, today at ARPA, we, changed the name of the facilities study to the facilities maintenance budget. And so what we will do is if we can use that money to fix the front of this hall, and that's federal money, so $25,320. We have another bid on that from McKinney. $28,532. So that's the Scholar is the less costly one. Where's the bid on that? Where's the money? No. That's town hall. That's town hall. Right there.
Got it. And then is there some variable cost here as well? In terms of other stuff that might need to get done, because I hear there's some things here that are quoted on linear foot.
Yeah, so it depends, that's how much siding, so if they found a piece of siding that needed to be replaced, that'll be an additional with, a cost added to that. When I met the gentleman, there wasn't much, there was a few boards, but it wasn't, they could try to save most of it when they did it.
All right.
And that is within their skill set, it's what I see,
Yeah,
painting and restoration, they do more than just
yeah. We
painting contract.
we had to find a restoration company because these are historic buildings. And we've also already gotten it approved by the historic district.
That's what I was gonna say.
Good job.
I was gonna ask
Wow.
what role has the
Set them up and knock them down.
I tried.
What is the history? It was a schoolhouse, right? That was the
That was
original.
the original town hall in 18
Was the
something.
original town hall.
And then the town hall moved next door to the old town hall and then it moved from there to here. So we are moving. we're moving up in this world. We're now in the
1800.
1800s.
Love it. That's why I moved.
So, I believe I made a motion to accept or maybe I didn't. I moved that we accept the bid from Scholar Painting and Restoration for
25, 320.
25,320.
I just want
Oh, yes.
I'll second that for discussion.
All right. Any other discussion on this?
I'm really happy to be seeing this get done.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good thing.
It surprised me at how bad that place looked when they cut the brush back.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. We call it the Scout Hall, but because it's been that for so many years,
Yeah.
but it's just simply a town building, right?
Yes,
The Boy Scouts don't have any.
Boy Scouts don't
They
have
don't
any
own it or any
ownership.
particularly, okay, so it could be
I
used.
found that out after I bought a tank of oil for it, and then I realized it might not be a town building, and I went, oops. And then I was saved because it is a town building.
Okay. So
That's why I'm sitting here.
it could be a multi-use building
Yes.
going forward.
Going forward.
Not,
So the Boy Scouts are now sharing it with the Cub Scouts.
yeah, but I mean, it could be used for almost any town function.
Right.
Especially once it.
They do use it for like, tree lighting and stuff, they open it
Right,
up.
that's
for
right,
the-
yeah, I see it as if, you know,
It's a
especially with
resource.
a sewer line and working plumbing. and
Yeah, that would be
could
nice.
It'll be a historical building worth preserving.
Yep,
And then once the tavern gets its liquor permit, we'll be all set.
I've been voting for that since. What?
You need to vote on that.
Yes, I was waiting for.
No.
Are we done discussing?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, bringing us to the quote for the old town hall.
There's a hand raised.
Oh,
Pete, just letting you know, some of the work going into the weather might not get done until the springtime. I'm just making, okay.
the other issue with this is that we have to get it under contract no later than December 31st because it's ARPA money, and any money we don't have encumbered under that, we have to send back to whoever's the president tomorrow.
Spent or encumbered?
Encumbered. We have to have it under contract.
I understand.
We had a long discussion on encumbrance today that.
Right.
It made me so happy to attend. Anyway, so moving on to the quote for the old town hall. This is different money. This is state money. This is steep money. Because we had $125,000 for the septic and restoration of the old town hall. And it didn't cost $125,000, it cost 35 or 38 or something like that.
Wow, that's a really big difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we would like to do some restoration over there. I've also gotten this approved by the historic district, and I've got two bids. So,
That include the window, we had a broken window.
yes,
For
so,
several years now.
right. Yes. In fact, it's not only fixing that broken window, it's fixing the ones in the tower.
Wow.
And, fixing some doors, the door in the back to the storage for the historic records is literally falling off the hinges.
Yeah.
I talked to Bob Shabbat about that, and he and Christine have a bet every time they open it on whether it will still be on the hinges. So
Who keeps winning the bet?
so far, I think it's Bob. Also, they need to take a look at the gutter, because there was a 4-foot plant growing out of it, and broken windows, and the front doors don't shut right, and it needs some paint where it's bubbling off the building.
They better clean those gutters.
Yeah, well, I think that's been done. Yes, we know about gutters, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, boy, I've learned more about gutters in the last year than I've ever wanted to know. Anyways, so we've gotten 2 bids for that from the same people, McKinney and Scholar. And I believe that Troy and I have decided that McKinney would be the better bid on that. Their bid is $59,935, and Scholar was, let's see here,
It was around
90, 98,000 for 136 for the rest of it, so. It was, we've had, if we wanna do everything that we wanna do, it's still way too much money. So what we've done is reduce the scope of what we wanna get done so that we can afford it. Without breaking the town. But Troy, do you wanna speak to this?
Yep, so Scholar was gonna come in and basically remove all the windows, reglaze everything. McKinney's gonna come in, or McKinsley's gonna come in and fix as needed, and they'll repaint the outside of the town hall with 2 coats. They'll prime it and scrape and paint. And they're gonna fix the tower windows, but they're gonna only fix windows as needed instead of glazing every single window. That's the difference between the two prices.
So. Troy is, you're recommending McKinney at $59,905, correct?
It stays within the budget that we have, so at least someone, they'll fix the windows as needed and, repaint everything.
What's our budget, if we take away what we already spent out of the 125,000,
It's
what's
like 80 something,
80 something, this is 50 something?
this is 59.
59? Can we have them just do windows until they use up the rest of it?
Well,
We can, yeah, I believe the septic was around 41,000 and then that dry well roughly around 5,000, so you'll have. So what are we at, like 46,000 minus 125? So you'll have that money left over. So yeah, we can talk to them to fix as much as they can with the budget that's allowed. Yes, absolutely.
They have consolidated the bids, the buildings are right next to each other.
because it's coming from two separate,
Separate
funding sources. One's coming from ARPA and one's coming from Steve.
And why would that matter to the contractor though?
It,
I mean, once you're on site, half the battle is getting staged.
Right.
But doing the exact same kind of work, I would have thought that one company would have done.
the one company for both of them was really high.
Okay, all right, fair enough, but you still was looking at
And,
that.
and because we need two separate
I got
contracts,
it, yeah,
because of the
it's
funding.
almost easier to do.
It's almost easier to do two separate bids.
That makes sense.
And particularly with the way, ARPA is working and the
Mhm.
time crunch there, well, actually, they're both under a time crunch. Because this one, we can't get any more steep funding until we spend this steep
Yeah,
funding.
no, that makes sense to me.
Does that specify whether they're gonna spray it and what type of finish and how many coats?
2 finished coats of Duratin satin paint.
Sprayed or brushed?
It will be
Uh,
brushed, I believe.
What's that?
Pardon me?
It will be brushed, I believe. Yep, 2 coats.
There was a few lessons we learned from the last time we had that painted.
Oh, spray is not good?
Not in that application though.
All right.
And flat is not a good idea either.
Yeah.
And what are the restrictions for, because that's a historical district,
Yeah,
those are all factored into that and those. Interesting.
so I move that we accept the bid from McKinney Construction for $59,935. And with, an eye towards making sure that we get as much work done as we can.
Right, we improve the whole thing, we can go, if we improve the difference, the delta, then we can have them conduct, or replace windows or recaulk windows.
Yeah. But we don't have a bid for the remainder, so what I'd like to
Okay,
do
all right,
is
that's good.
do the motion for the bid.
Right.
So that we have the bid process and
do this
correctly.
And restoration can uncover costs that
Yes,
are not anticipated from the initial,
like those front doors.
yeah, who knows what gonna,
So, any other discussion?
none. not
Hearing
for me.
no more discussion, all in favor of accepting the bid from McKinney Construction, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Who seconded?
I did,
I missed that part.
yeah, I did too, so that's why I looked at him. Get him to volunteer. Um. Reappointment of Don Berg to the Wise Committee. At the last meeting, it was, I pointed out that the Wise Committee can no longer hold meetings because they don't have a quorum. They have one active member currently. Don Berg has sent us a letter to have himself reappointed. Don Berg has done most of the work on that committee. Even with him on there, I do not believe they'll have a quorum, but Don's working on finding members for that committee that meet the requirements I've asked him. Right. In particular, expertise and diversity of opinion, yeah. So, given that, I think Don Berg would make a fine member of the Wise Committee, and so I nominate Don Berg to be reappointed.
I'll second that motion.
Point of order, I think, don't you have to have a by date and an expiration date
On the motion.
on the motion?
I'm sure you are correct, so what we will do is we will table this until I meet with the town clerk and get the current by dates.
Yeah, no, it's okay, you're right.
Yeah,
It's just figuring. So, yeah, I've been reading Don Berg's notes, and all the work he's done on the housing,
Yeah.
for years, and, hats off, and thank you for a good job.
Yeah.
We're gonna table that waiver of interest then?
Yes,
Okay.
we're gonna table the waiver of interest.
I'll make a motion that we table the waiver of interest.
Wasn't that under the tax, was that the tax thing you wanted to talk about?
No, this is
Different
something,
waiver of
yeah.
And so it's 10E, we're gonna, there's a motion to waive that.
Oh, wait, no, that was his waiver of interest that we already passed,
Oh.
so we're good. We don't need to table it because we've already done it. Oh, thank you.
That's all right, I figured that that's what it was.
Yeah, you were correct.
Mhm.
Cobwebs kind of
Yeah,
clear.
that's okay. Understandable.
It's been a long, long day. Um. Old business, the Emergency Services Facilities Building Committee. Andy, do you have anything to say about?
I do, actually, I think I want to, thinking of Robert's Rules of Orders, actually. To kind of do this a little more, properly, I move that the Board of Selectmen accept the recommendation from the Emergency Services Facilities Building Committee to award Fitch Associates the contract for the fire station location study. And then the BOS recommendation, if approved, would be communicated with the Board of Finance for their approval.
Okay,
That's the motion. And then
can you add a price to that motion?
I can.
That would be it.
And then that would be for a fee of, $39,995.
I will second that motion to start discussion.
Very good.
Perfect.
All right.
Discuss.
At our last meeting, with the Emergency Services Facilities Building Committee, it was a decision based on the 5 vendors that we received proposals from to award it to Fitch Associates. There was a lot of different reasons. The Fitch study stood out, I think, from all members. They were one of the few that actually identified that there were 2 separate fire departments. A lot of the other ones just referenced one. So I was like, did you read the request? Do you really understand us? They also were willing that they were actually doing on-site surveys. Other vendors did not. There were a lot of different observations, but the Fitch study stood out. The budget was one thing that was talked about, that it's an all-inclusive project total. Many of the other ones had additional fees for travel and research stuff. This was inclusive. They say there are no ongoing recurring costs, software maintenance costs. We can request additional services if we so desire. Yeah, well, so overall, the committee's recommendation, it wasn't the least expensive, it wasn't the most expensive. But the fees they're charging seem to be appropriate for what they're offering. I know we have two members of the committee and representation of our emergency services professional, if they want to add into it, and I saw Mr. Tulis had his hand up, and he's part of the same committee. And I would welcome them to weigh in to add to my comments, if that would be all right with you.
That would be fine. Mr. Tulis.
I just
You're
want,
the hand up.
Ralph
There it
Tillis, 47 Village Hill Road. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I guess, okay. I want to endorse that decision to engage Fitch in the study. I think the committee was essentially unanimous in their sentiments about involving them. And we should move forward because so many things left on the charge depend on their work. That's my comment.
Thank you, Ralph.
And if you want to see a list of all the bids, I could share my screen and show that to you.
Thank you for the offer. But I'm
I have them in my office.
And don't forget to add that the chair, vice chair haven't already said.
excellent. You have any other chief?
No, and so this is the location study, right?
Yes,
Remember correctly, this is like required in order for us to move
well,
forward.
it seems that it was strongly desired, particularly by the Board of Finance. We have some studies done, but they're older, and this it seems like this is an important third-party assessment of what is and of the yes. The Board of Finance seemed to be quite adamant that they wanted some launch pad that they could wrap their hands around that was from a third party to sort of boil down all of the requirements and then what are the recommendations and how do we move forward with this? The older studies had a wide range of what to do. I think
The older studies are like 25 years old.
yes.
No, there was one within the last 10 years.
2012, though, still, I mean,
All
that,
right, so 50, yeah.
yeah, that's a little while ago. And interestingly, for me, one thing that really stood out from all the studies, they all said that the life expectancy of our structure is about 25 years, and now we are at that 25-year point. So the facilities conditions it shouldn't be of any surprise to anyone, but this study, if it delivers what we want, and it seems that we have some influence as to how that gets done. Will give us the tools that we need to move forward. And then the charge is really to evaluate, like you were saying, in the future, the 50-year plan for emergency services in the town. And we need something concrete to launch up, which is not just opinions.
I'm trusting that also, when we talk about 50 years, we're talking not about building the facility we're going to need 50 years from now, today. What we're talking about is building a facility that can be expanded to meet the needs of us as we move forward.
Possibly, you know, I think, Matt, I think that's what, this is how this study. We hope that the information within the state will guide us to exactly what you're saying and all of that. But I don't know that for sure, so. Okay.
It's not just a location study, it is gonna add, community risks, fire department operations,
Yes.
staffing, structure, dispatching apparatus and equipment, performance standards, and develop a future-oriented options. So it's not just a location study.
Thank you. That's important, yes, all of that.
Right, and the location.
Yes, and the location, yeah, it's all encompassing, it really, I am not the expert at this, and we have experts that understand this far better.
You guys ever worked with these people before? or?
I personally never worked with them. They have a great reputation. I mean, they work with the Connecticut Fire Chiefs, the International Association of Fire Chiefs. Before they sent out a lot of panels throughout the country. So they have done work in the area, but I never worked with them before.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Very highly regarded firm.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting approving the bid
For, 39, I'll say, just to restate it, I move that the Board of Selectmen accept the Emergency Services Facilities Building Committee recommendation to award Fitch Associates the contract for the fire station location study for $39,995. This recommendation will then go to will be communicated to the Board of Finance to be put on their agenda and further.
And I believe that this is part of the budget that's already been approved.
Yes.
So, and then I've already seconded that, so all those in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Thank you for that. We are moving right along. Salary discussion, again, we're coming around to the salary discussion. We need to get that. I think what we need to do is we need to add that into our budget discussions to make sure that the salaries are covered under the budgets.
We treat that separate?
Yeah,
Do that separately?
We can do that separately.
We can do it during the day.
Yeah, we will do that during the day. And I think that that discussion should include those people who salary it affects. So that they are, we have some transparency with them on what we're talking about. Tax stabilization discussion, Matt.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Pete. Tax day, so I contacted CCM.
Okay,
They sent out, requests to other towns for copies of their tax stabilization ordinances. Or policies, and they have received nothing back, so we do not have any input. There was a little bit of a snap, but they thought that by tax stabilization, that meant, or the other towns thought that tax stabilization meant stabilizing seniors' taxes. And that's not true.
What does it mean?
Well, there is a need for developers when they want to develop a large facility to stabilize what the property taxes are.
Oh, yes.
Or the property taxes, real
Which
property.
came up with the battery
Yes.
staying up, yeah.
so that's why we're discussing.
Yes, got it.
And the town of East Windsor just went through this because they're putting in like a 700-acre solar farm.
Mhm.
So-
it's huge, it's ridiculous.
Yes, and so, we are in touch with them through Mike D'Amato, because Mike also works with East Windsor.
Yes.
So we are getting some idea. Tammy Nuccio is also suggesting we talk to East
Okay.
Windsor.
Um,
Because what it is you have a graph like this. Normally the taxes start out real high and end up real low.
Right.
And then you pay for everything under the line. So what you do is you get this line, so they pay the same taxes,
Every
which
year.
has the advantage that you don't get a lot of tax money up front, and then everybody gets
But you
used
get
to
it.
a lot of tax money, and then no tax money at the end when
Right.
people are used to a lot of tax
It
money.
adds to our ability to plan and their ability.
Yes, yeah, it doesn't, that was presented to us in,
The
planning
trick is to
zoning. It
get
makes sense.
this line up as high as
That's
possible.
right,
And there should be an inflation adjustment.
Right.
yeah.
Interesting. So usually, I think that what there is the inflation adjustment is decided between the parties rather than fluctuating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense the way it was presented. You always wonder what are the holes, what are the
Yeah.
surprises,
Yes,
but it does seem to.
that's why we need to talk to people who are much more conversant in this than I
And
am.
it's likely we'll be seeing more things like this in the future.
I forgot this one thing, earlier today. Connecticut Water supplies water to South Wellington, including the fire station and the Hall School. They've got problems with their water. There's a leak someplace in their system, and they are having trouble finding it because it's apparently 50 feet underground. They were supposed to have solved all of this and gotten everything back in order by the end of the summer. They didn't. The line froze today, denying water to the South Wellington, all the apartments and condos down there,
Wow.
including the fire department and Hall School. So Hall School was released at 10:30 this morning because they have no water. I got this email what time did it come in? 5:24 tonight. They said they're on it. There is a Clint Eldridge who lives in our town, amazingly enough, who is working for them. Clint did what he could up there. He got it, the water running. They are making adjustments so that it shouldn't freeze up again. They've got bleeders, whatever a bleeder is, to monitor the water. And they should have a timeline for completing the repairs by the end of next week. Yes,
So two things. One, the bleeders, there's actually so that it moves water.
yeah,
It's above, right now they have a temporary above ground water main that's coming down Depot Road past the firehouse.
yeah.
Which also, we do not have fire protection. We don't have hydrants in the South Wellington section right now. We have to use ponds. So the fire hydrants that we have, everything is out of service.
We're paying for those.
Yeah, now yes, but we are trying to work on that.
Get a rebate.
We did request a meeting with the project manager and the project manager's supervisor, because we can't have what happened this morning happen again, especially with the school high chase and those condos.
Would that be Mr. Lowry, Paul Lowry?
Yes, Paul and the next person
All
up.
right, Paul's the one that sent this email, so,
So we did request an emergency meeting this week with them.
okay, good.
When they say freeze, they mean really
It
freeze.
froze this morning, so there was no water in
Oh,
it.
I didn't see that.
It was
24 degrees.
Was it?
It was 24 degrees in Tahoe this morning.
And it froze pipes of that?
Yeah, because they're all exposed
It's
above
up, so
ground.
they put a temporary filter above ground.
And that's what froze.
Yeah.
Huh.
They were out there to get.
So now the water's moving, so it won't freeze, but basically they're.
Correct. The
They're
problem
bringing water
is where is the water running to?
Sure, where's the water running to?
Because
And if it freezes and it's been bleeding out onto the road, then
Mm,
Troy will have to go out there.
Right.
interesting.
Excellent. All right, so that brings us back to present to speak. Go ahead.
Go in.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
nothing. Oh, well, just before I forget, how does the motion that we made about the study get to the Board of Finance? Is that something I can communicate?
Yes,
Okay.
it is something you can communicate,
Okay.
and it should be in the minutes as soon as
Yes.
possible, and.
Minutes are
We-
drafted, I just need to change them,
That's
it'll be done tomorrow.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's fine, but I will also send a letter to, okay, I just wanted to make
Yes.
sure I know what to do.
Excellent. All right, now, Alex.
I just want to thank the town for the first selectman, public works director, and then Lucian for the help with the Lushot Road fire. It was a bad outcome, but it was a great outpouring of support from the residents in that area. We had a great turnout from the fire departments. But the town did help support that incident, which was greatly appreciated.
Lucian came in at a moment's notice, flew in from home and
We
jumped on that backhoe and.
Yep.
Was there before the state police.
Yep.
Knew what was going on. Thank you.
Thank you.
I saw that call come out and I said, I should really go to that one, but I'll see if I can avoid it, and then the phone call rang. I should not have avoided it. Brings us to good and welfare. Tomorrow, National Voting Day. Turnout, please. 6 AM to 8 PM. Upstairs, our registrars have not had a day off for about 3 weeks, but they will be happy to see you. Come in and vote. This is for the presidential election, for those who have somehow avoided knowing that. We welcome Ashley Montez. Ashley is our new assistant assessor who replaced Nicole Schneider, who moved over to the town clerk's office. Ashley has been working out tremendously. She's very personable. I wish her well. Matt and I sat on the committee with Shannon, and she was our first interview, and we go, ooh, if they all go like this, we're gonna be in trouble, because she was outstanding. Once again, new dump stickers will be at the dump November 9th, 10th, and 13th. Please see Matt and Bob, they will help you out. We're gonna try to make the process as smooth and as painless as possible. And I think that. Well, we already did that, that was Alex. I announced it, nobody said anything. I can't talk much longer. So do I hear a movement to, motion to adjourn? I second that. We're all good. All in favor, say aye. We're all good, doesn't count.
Maybe it does, I don't.